My name is Emily, and I never thought I'd be telling this story out loud. Honestly, for the longest time, I was ashamed of it. Ashamed of how blind I was, how much I let other people's opinions control my marriage, my home, my sanity. But if telling it helps even one woman avoid the mistakes I made, then maybe it's worth it. So, this is what happened. I had been married to my husband Marcus for 19 years. 19 years of building a home, raising our son, laughing, fighting, making up, everything that comes with a long marriage. And I thought we were solid. Not perfect, God knows we had our issues, but solid enough to survive anything. But all it took was one small misunderstanding to set fire to my entire family. It started the night my sister, Danielle, came over for dinner. Danielle is, well, she's the type who always thinks she knows more than everyone else. She's loud, opinionated, and dramatic. I love her, she's my sister, but she can be a lot. Marcus had been acting distant for a few weeks before that. He'd come home tired, barely talk, eat quietly, and disappear into the garage for hours. I thought maybe he was stressed from work. Danielle thought he was cheating. I didn't know she thought that until that night. After dinner, I stepped outside to grab something from my car. When I came back in, I heard their voices, Marcus and Danielle talking in the living room. Danielle's voice was low but sharp. Marcus sounded tense, defensive. I didn't walk in right away. I listened. I know I shouldn't have, but something in their tone made my stomach twist. I couldn't hear the whole conversation, but I heard enough. Emily deserves to know. You're hiding something. Marcus kept saying, "It's not what you think." When I finally walked in, they immediately stopped talking. Danielle forced a smile, said she had to go, and left. Marcus went straight to the kitchen, like nothing had happened. And that's when the seed of doubt planted itself in my chest. That night after Liam, our son, went to bed, I confronted Marcus. "What were you two talking about?" He said nothing, and rubbed his forehead like the question exhausted him. I pushed. He resisted. Finally, he sighed and said, "Your sister thinks I'm having an affair." I felt the ground shift under me. I asked him point blank if he was. He looked hurt. "Emily, no. I swear to God, no." I wanted to believe him. I really did. But Danielle is my sister, and she never makes accusations lightly. At least, that's what I told myself. Over the next few days, everything Marcus did looked suspicious. His phone lighting up, his late nights, his quietness, his stress. Every little thing fed my paranoia. And I hated who I was becoming, but I couldn't stop. Things escalated when Liam overheard one of our arguments. He shouted, "This house is a nightmare. You two can't go a day without fighting. No wonder I don't want to be home." My own son said that. It completely shattered me. I hadn't even noticed how our tension was affecting him. He'd been skipping school, failing classes, pulling away from friends, all because he felt trapped in the middle of his parents' Cold War. And I was too busy doubting my husband to see it. A week later, my mother showed up unannounced. She was furious, shaking. "Danielle told me everything. Marcus is hurting you. I won't let him." So now my mother hated my husband. My sister hated my husband. And my son barely spoke to either of us. All because of something that might not even be true. Marcus walked in during the confrontation. He heard my mom say, "Emily deserves better than a liar." He grabbed his keys and left the house without a word. he didn't come home that night. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, imagining all the worst things. Imagining him with some woman. Imagining him giving up on us. Imagining my marriage collapsing after 19 years. He came back the next morning, looking exhausted. He said he slept in the car because he didn't know where else to go. He said he felt like everyone in my family was turning against him, and I was letting it happen. And he wasn't wrong. Before I could say anything, I got a text from Danielle. I didn't want to tell you this before, but I saw Marcus with another woman 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry. I felt sick. Marcus denied it. He said the woman was a former coworker asking for career advice. That's it. Nothing romantic. But my mind was already poisoned. Weeks went by like that. Fighting, crying, silent dinners. Liam shutting us out. My mother gossiping. Danielle fueling the fire. I watched my marriage break piece by piece. Then one afternoon, I got a call from the hospital. Marcus had collapsed at work. Stress, dehydration, exhaustion. I rushed there. When I saw him lying in that hospital bed, pale and drained, something inside me cracked. While I was accusing him and listening to everyone else, he was drowning silently. The nurse told me he had been there twice that month. Twice. I had no idea. That night, while Marcus slept, I cried harder than I had in years because I realized something horrible. I had spent so much time wondering whether he was betraying me. I never stopped to think whether I was betraying him. When he woke up, we finally talked. Really talked. He broke down. He told me everything he'd been holding inside. His company was downsizing. He thought he was going to lose his job. That's why he was working late. That's why he was stressed. That's why he didn't want to talk. He didn't want to scare me. The meeting with the woman at the diner, she had been laid off and needed help rewriting her resume. And Marcus didn't tell me because he knew how Danielle would react. She always assumed the worst about men. He wasn't cheating. He wasn't lying. He was overwhelmed and scared, and he didn't know how to ask for help. When he said that, I felt like the worst wife in the world. I apologized, sobbing, telling him how badly I'd let fear and other people's voices control me. He held my hand and said, I should have talked to you. I should have trusted you to handle the truth. We both failed each other. But we weren't done yet. I still had to confront Danielle. I went to her house the next day. I demanded she tell me exactly what she saw. And after cornering her long enough, she admitted the truth. She never actually saw Marcus do anything romantic. She just saw him sitting with a woman. That's it. Her assumptions came from her own trauma. Her ex-husband cheated on her, so she sees cheating everywhere. Her projection almost destroyed my marriage. My mother apologized too once she heard the truth. Liam started therapy to deal with everything he'd bottled up. And Marcus took time off work to recover. It took months to rebuild the trust we lost. Months to sit at the dinner table without tension. Months before Liam opened up again. Months before Marcus stopped flinching every time I asked where he was going. But slowly, piece by piece, we came back to each other. And I learned something I will never forget. Sometimes the biggest danger to a marriage isn't cheating. It's silence, assumptions, fear, and the voices of people who don't live inside your home. Because love doesn't die from one big blow. It dies from little cracks that no one pays attention to until the whole thing falls apart. But ours didn't fall apart. We caught it in time, and now we're stronger for it. That's my story. It's messy, painful, embarrassing, but it's mine. And if you're listening to this, I hope it reminds you to hold on to the people who love you, even when things get hard, especially when things get hard.